wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up.
Good morning Barbados, good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning Barbados, good morning.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Morning to you.
Let me be the first to wish all of you a terrific Tuesday. Good morning, everybody. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Welcome to the start of a new day, Tuesday, the 24th of March, 2026. And I'm Pearson Bowen. Perhaps I'm the first voice you hear in the morning, and so good morning to all of you. You are beautiful, you are wonderfully made, and you have purpose. But in accessing your purpose, you need to say, first of all, thank you to God. God has given you another opportunity on this brand new day to make a difference for Him. And in making a difference for Him means making a difference to others as well. So share your love today, share your kindness, share your thoughts and your concern. Help someone today, and you move just a little bit closer to the glory of God. I encourage you to take very serious consideration of what I'm sharing with you this morning. To those of you watching us on our streams on Facebook, YouTube, and our website, cbc.bb, to all of you, good morning. How do you do as well? Just share the show, share the love, bring others along to be a part of our community. We wake up every morning to keep company. We wake up every morning to learn from each other, but to learn from others as well who join us on the show. And so you are part, and I don't want you to keep others away from it as well. So share the show, share the love, bring them along. And as always, as I encourage you every single day, if you know of something or someone whose story has to be told, tell us about it. And you can point that to us by sending us an email. Our email address is morninbarbados@cbc.bb, morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and we thank you for sharing that as well. So great morning to all indeed. Let's make this a terrific today, a terrific Tuesday indeed. We're already at the 24th of March. Next week is Holy Week, because this coming Sunday is Palm Sunday, and it's not just Palm Sunday. It's another significant moment in the calendar of the Christian faith, and so I want to encourage you, if you haven't yet thought about it, to consider being in worship on Sunday for Palm Sunday, and then get ready for each night's service in most of the churches across the island for Holy Week services as we make our way towards Good Friday and then that big triumphal resurrection on Sunday. So I encourage all of you to be actively engaging in your own mind and in your Bible reading, in your worship and your fellowship, in your moments of understanding this period of Lent and understanding why it is important as Christians. It happens. And so to Pat Ben, we say good morning. She says good morning to the full crew. The full crew to you. Pat says good morning as well. Joe Japin is watching from the United Kingdom. Joe, good morning. Enjoy your day as well. Thank you so much for the greetings. Anthony Smith is in New York. And so to you, Anthony Smith, we say good morning. How do you do? Have a good morning as well, Anthony. All the best to you and yours always. Coming up today, Marcia Rock, good morning as well. Have yourself a beautiful today, a terrific Tuesday. You say save yourself. Now, coming up today, we are going to introduce you to the man known as Nate Sports. You ask, who is he? We do too. He'll sit with us, talk a little bit about his journey because he's been given the chance of a lifetime. We'll talk to you a little bit more about that in a moment. Vereen, morning. Beautiful morning to you as well. How do you do? I just love, sorry. I just love how we as Bajans, we do this. We spend time to say, morning, afternoon, how are you, how do you do? All of those things. Eleanor, the name that I love. Eleanor, good morning. Have a great day as well. So Nate Sports will join us. We're talking today to a lady who is Barbadian, and her daughter is just passionate about Barbados. She'll join us online to talk about a book that she's written, which chronicles that experience this young girl has and her passion for Barbados. Also today, we'll be looking at social work. So World Social Work Day was last week, and there were many activities held. But what else is happening for social workers in Barbados? They'll join us to talk about that. If you've heard about the Road Tennis Championship known as the Queen of the South, is on yet again. And so we want to tell you what to prepare for this year when Jackie Collis joins us to take a look at that. And of course, we'll be getting started with our conversations on CARICOM in just a moment. But Wizard, good morning to you as well. Good morning to you and your crew too at home. Have a great today as well. So we'll take a break right here. When we come back, we'll be jumping right into our conversations on CARICOM and more in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One, your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So it's moved to 7 minutes after 6 o'clock now as we begin our conversations on CARICOM. You know this is a segment that I've realized that so many of you look forward to. Look forward to it because you want to understand better what CARICOM is and how CARICOM functions, but also there's a lot of learning that can be gained from all of this. And so Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency David Comishong, sits with us yet again. He's back. And so Ambassador, welcome back, first of all. And the question always is, where did you go?
Well, I was in Colombia, the capital city of Bogota, to be precise, and it was a whole week. So CARICOM went to Colombia, but we went to participate in the meetings of the Community of Latin America and the Caribbean, which is a hemispheric grouping. All of the independent countries of our hemisphere, with the exception of Canada and the United States. So it's really all of the developing countries. And of course, the 33 countries of which CARICOM constitutes 14. We constitute 14 of the 33 member states. So last week was the 10th summit of the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States. We call it CELAC. So the summit was the highlight, but in addition to the heads of government summit, there was the foreign ministers meeting of CELAC, and perhaps even more significantly, there was the Africa CELAC high-level forum. So it was really a packed week, many different meetings packed in there.
And what was the purpose?
Well, CELAC Africa, first of all, one of the reasons for CELAC is that the countries of our hemisphere, that we could collectively develop relations with other parts of the world. So you already have the CELAC European Union Forum, you have the CELAC Africa Forum, and now, long overdue in my opinion, because CELAC was established in 2011. Long overdue, we finally are putting that special partnership, that special relationship in place with the continent of Africa. So you had 16 African countries represented. We sat together, we met, we looked at the development of this partnership. So that was very, very important. And attached to that was discussions about reparations, historical reparations, justice for black people. In fact, there were over 5,000 participants. Because you could well imagine, Colombia is a country of approximately 50 million people.
Yes.
And 10%, 5 million of those are people of African descent. And for the first time, Colombia has a vice president, a female, but also a person of African descent, Vice President Francia Marquez. So she has been driving the development of this relationship between Colombia and Africa, CELAC and Africa. So she was the driving force between, for bringing together all of these civil society activists and of course governmental people to have that powerful week of discussions about reparations, about South-South trade, about how we come together as a people. And then on top of that was the actual where the governments now of Africa and CELAC, we came together in a high level meeting. And then of course there was CELAC's own business, our own business, our summit, our foreign ministers meeting, our heads of government summit, where we produced the Declaration of Bogota, and which expresses where we are going as a community. And we also had the handing over of the presidency. So in CELAC, you hold the presidency for 1 year. And so Colombia was the president, hence the summit in Colombia. But Colombia, at the summit, Colombia handed over to Uruguay. So they will be the president for the next year.
And so the business of CELAC obtained. And so we're watching on the screen some pictures. That's the handing over moment.
Yes.
From Colombia to Uruguay.
President Gustavo Petro handing over to the president of Uruguay, President Martinez.
And so that was ceremonial, but nevertheless it was significant because Latin America playing a significant role along with Africa in reshaping the way we do business in this part of the region. Because I know for a little time CARICOM has been leveraging its relationship with Africa to open up gateways to revenue, to sources of investment and the like. And so this, no doubt, in that discussion with CELAC Africa, solidified that. You're smiling. You're smiling.
I'm smiling because that was precisely the subject of my speech.
Sorry, sir.
So during the Africa CELAC high level, this is where presidents and ministers, where we sat to discuss this new relationship the CELAC was building. I intervened, I spoke to tell them, hey, CARICOM has been on this path for the last 5 years. So I used my speech to make sure everybody was clear that whereas CELAC is now working towards its first Africa CELAC Heads of Government Summit, that CARICOM has actually held 2 Africa CARICOM Heads of Government Summits. The first one in 2021 and the second one last year, last year, when we went to Addis Ababa, the 7th of September. And I went through the communique that came out of that summit, the joint declaration on reparations, and brought to their attention the different initiatives that we have agreed upon, and said to them, I am proposing that CELAC adopt these wonderful ideas and initiatives as well, and factor them into the work that CELAC is doing now, so that we don't reinvent the wheel, because CARICOM is almost 1/2 of the membership of the community of Latin American and Caribbean states. So it makes sense that there's a convergence with all of that work. We don't need to duplicate efforts. So I would say, Pearson, that was one of the most positive outcomes of that week. And incidentally, I should say that Barbados I led the Barbados delegation, but I was very ably supported by 2 Foreign Service officers, Mandisa Downs and Sherilisa Walron. And I must compliment those 2 young ladies because they actually went ahead of me. Even before the ministers and presidents arrive, the Foreign Service officers were on the ground. They were playing the role of the national coordinators of CELAC, and they were working on. It is because of their work
Right.
that we have the Declaration of Bogota. They had to do all the hard work of negotiating the text, and we almost didn't have a declaration because I must tell you that politically there's a lot of division. Maybe we can put it down to the coming of this Trump presidency, but it seems as if this Trump presidency has really generated a lot of political division in the world, I would say, but certainly in our hemisphere. So, I mean, even if we look at this declaration, the feedback during the week was that we may not get a declaration because governments were finding it difficult. Things that in the past we had easily agreed upon, we were now having difficulty. So a concept like sustainable development, who could be opposed to the concept of sustainable development? Well, there were one or two countries that actually opposed the concept of sustainable development. Our region being a zone of peace, which is one of the great achievements of CELAC. One of CELAC's early achievements was the 2014 Proclamation of Havana, declaring Latin America and the Caribbean a zone of peace. Well, Trinidad and Tobago disassociated itself from that paragraph. Cuba, for 33 years now, we have all gone to the UN General Assembly to denounce the blockade against Cuba, to denounce Cuba being unilaterally included by the US on this list of state sponsors of terrorism. I mean, that's a settled part of CARICOM and CELAC policy. Would you imagine that, well, we got the paragraph in the declaration, but 11 countries found it necessary to make a reservation disassociating themselves. Argentina, Chile, Costa Rica, Ecuador, El Salvador, Honduras, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, Trinidad and Tobago, and Guyana, although I understand that Guyana's, there might have been some miscommunication and it wasn't really, but anyhow, well, officially Guyana, but there might be a little caveat attached to that. But one third of the membership of CELAC found it difficult to agree to something that they have been going to the UN for 3 decades and voting for. So that's the reality. We do have these political divisions. However, we were still able to produce the declaration, and the organization is still intact. And it's a very important organization because the whole thinking behind CELAC was that, okay, we have this OAS, the Organization of American States, which was really a creation of the United States of America, created in 1948 at the height of the Cold War, and very much a US-dominated organization. So the idea was, we need a counterpart to the OAS. We need our own hemispheric organization, but not one that will be dominated by the big powers of North America. So a hemispheric organization minus the 2 big powers of North America, where we can come together. And part of the thinking was that it would be a space for discussion, political discussion, and resolving any ideological or political differences that we have among us, so that we could be a united developmental body within our hemisphere. But in recent times, we can see the pressures and the fractures.
We're going to talk some more, and maybe continue our conversations on CARICOM about some of the other positive outcomes from the Declaration of Bogota and the CELAC meeting held there just recently, after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're having our conversations on CARICOM with Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency David Kamishong, who's now back from a high-level CELAC meeting in Latin America, in Colombia, as a matter of fact, flowing from which came the Declaration of Bogota and some other moments as well he's sharing with us. So, Ambassador, what were some of the other outstanding moments, memorable, one way or the other, and some of the other positives that came from the meeting?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because probably the single highlight of the whole week and the conference and the conferences was during the Africa CELAC high-level political summit, when the president of Brazil, President Luis Ignacio Lula da Silva, everybody knows him as Lula, when he took the stage and he delivered a passionate, a very passionate speech in which he really went to town on President Trump and the Trump administration and the role that it is currently playing, the disruptive role it is playing in international affairs. And he was greeted with a standing ovation. Wow. And so, so it says to me, that even some of the countries whose official policies might be X, that the people who actually, the ministers who come there and the people who actually represent the country have a different opinion, because they all stood, everybody stood in that conference hall and applauded President Lula for a long time, and he was really expressing the frustration with what the world seems to have become, with all of this warfare, this instability, this disrespect for United Nations, for international law, and how can we? And he was I guess he was expressing the frustration that so many of us feel. Why have we descended to this? Where is this taking us? How many human beings are losing their lives, How much destruction. And yes, and so that was the emotional high point, I would say, of the entire event. But aside from that, I think for me, and let me just speak now a little bit about Barbados. We use the opportunity, of course, to speak about the Bridgetown Initiative, to speak about, and incidentally, Barbados has become virtually the face of the climate change agenda, I was looking at some of the television coverage when, for example, the president of Colombia was speaking about climate change and climate finance. The camera searched out the Barbados delegation and settled on us. So Barbados is now the international face of that whole climate change agenda. And one of the side events that we held and that we were invited to was a meeting of a new entity called the Coalition of Governments for Global Public Investment. And I took the opportunity to speak about the Bridgetown Initiative at that meeting and to make the point that this new entity, this Coalition of Governments for Global Public Investment, would be an ideal vehicle for advocating the ideas of the Bridgetown Initiative. And of course, that concept was readily embraced. In fact, tremendous respect for the Bridgetown Initiative and the difference that that initiative has made to all of these ideas about global public investment, not only to deal with the climate crisis, but also to deal with achieving the sustainable development goals, to deal with development for countries and people. And so that is a report I have to make to our Prime Minister about the possibility of utilizing this new coalition to further advance the Bridgetown Initiative. But aside from that, I would say, the thousands of people who attended the discussions on reparations has to be seen as a high point. We had good Caribbean representation. We had the Secretary General of CARICOM, Dr. Carla Barnett. We had members of the CARICOM Reparations Commission. We had Dr. June Suma, who is a CARICOM rep on the United Nations Permanent Forum for People of African Descent. So CARICOM was very well represented in all of those discussions about reparations. And again, I credit Vice President Francia Marquez, because she has been the link on this issue of reparations between CARICOM, Africa, Latin America. And so it is clear that our reparations agenda is really solidifying the black populations of the Caribbean, Africa, and Latin America. So that was a definite achievement of the week. Beyond that, at the governmental level, putting together the CELAC African Union framework, just like we have CELAC European Union and CELAC Africa. That work is advancing. And then finally, our own CELAC agenda, which is reflected in the Declaration of Bogota. So it begins with zone of peace. It goes on to our standing for democracy and human rights. It went on to look at the upcoming competition for the post of Secretary General of the United Nations, and to make the point that it is our turn this time, a Latin American or Caribbean person. Yeah. And some people had felt that it should have been Prime Minister Motley, but she took herself out of the race. But we are going to be lining up behind a Latin American or Caribbean candidate. Of course, Haiti, solidarity with Cuba, our relations with China, the European Union. Looking forward to the first CELAC Africa Heads of Government Summit. Sustainable development, transnational crime, cooperation on migration, climate change, several paragraphs on climate change, disaster risk management, a plan for regional food security, cooperation on higher education, a plan to cooperate on healthcare. So, a very solid and development-based agenda going forward.
And a very fulsome report from you, Ambassador Kamashonga, as well. A lot has been achieved. A lot was said, a lot was done, but a lot has also been achieved. And so don't despair, folks, about some of the dissension you would have heard from some member states, but nevertheless, one body going forward still known as CELAC to advocate on behalf of the peoples of Latin America and the Caribbean. And so, Ambassador, we thank you again for your report, and we look forward to next week's engagement with you in our conversations on CARICOM. Here it comes.
Well, and next week I think I will be reporting on Grenada, because later today I'm off to Grenada to present my credentials. So we talk Grenada next week.
We shall indeed. So that's a promise. Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency David Kamashong, in our conversations on CARICOM.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Week after week, Scald presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scald is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scald, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons which will surprise many is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and together we will travel the world.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So, we have 26 minutes now to go to the hour of 7 o'clock. Every third Tuesday of March, the world pauses for World Social Work Day. And there's a reason for that, because we have social workers among us who do tremendous work in so many different ways. And so we want to pause for just a moment to acknowledge the contribution that they make to the fabric of our society. They are literally the knits, the little bits that happen. They work the machinery to make it happen and to stay together, and for all of us to coexist in a very meaningful way. But there's still among us divisions. And so with the theme this year, co-building hope and harmony, co-building hope and harmony, Harambe call to unite a divided society. We're joined this morning from Barbados by Dr. Linda Walters, who is a member of the Barbados Association of Professional Social Workers. She's also a member of the planning team for World Social Work Day. Good morning to you, Dr. Walters.
Good morning.
Good to have you. And again, and online joining us from Canada is Dr. Susan Chuang, who is a professor who's also an accredited family mediator. And with her, as you see the gentleman there, Dr. Jerome Tilak Singh from Trinidad and Tobago, who is the man responsible for founding International Men's Day. And so we thank him for having that foresight to have a day just for us. And so to all of you, good morning, welcome. Dr. Walters, I'll start with you. Locally, I know we've had events here last week where we took time to acknowledge and recognize the social workers in many different areas. How successful was that?
It was an awesome, successful event. We had several opportunities to showcase our profession at the hospital, the medical social workers, the welfare departments. We wore our lovely shirts, and we just went around to most of the social service agencies and celebrated ourselves.
And there's an agency for social work in every space. And that's why we want to talk a little bit about that in just a moment. Last week, I saw quite a few people as well. One question I asked, did you take your picture? Did you send your picture? Did you tag others with it as well? Because it was a day that I thought that social workers stood up and were recognized.
Absolutely.
And we thank you for your contribution.
Thank
the
you.
theme this year is co-building hope and harmony. What does that mean to you?
Co-building hope and harmony is, I think, just strengthening what we do as social workers, continuing to work with individuals, communities, and organizations to bring harmony and hope to everything that we do and every space that we're in.
Because it's when the fractures occur, social workers are often called in to be the glue, so to speak, and to mediate where necessary. That's why, Dr. Susan, this is something that you do from your perspective in Canada. How challenging is it, the work for social workers, to be able to complete the task that you have to deal with?
I personally am not a social worker, but I do work with organizations, and it is difficult, especially in Canada. We are an immigrant country, and so there are social workers that are placed, within schools that also help the children navigate and give them hope as well. And so that's really essential in Canada. And so there's social workers from all across the nation, but also in the homes when there are issues at home. They are called in to try to advocate for children and families. So it's critical to have them.
Yeah,
yes.
It has its challenges, for all sorts of reasons indeed. And so what are some of the lessons that you've learned about the human condition and the human nature that you can share with us this morning as a person who teaches family mediation as well, about what we as people need to be more mindful of as it relates to our relationships?
I think one of the key things is that everybody needs help. For various situations, everybody needs that support, that positive support. And so reaching out when you needed some assistance regarding perhaps it's looking for a job or mental health. And that's really important for families and children to understand that you shouldn't be a closed system and that there's a lot of help out there. You just have to be willing and open to accept that help. Right? So there's a lot of expertise, there's a lot of knowledge, a lot of connections that social workers can do and help facilitate, building families and making them stronger and making them thrive, in Canada or around the world, right? Social workers are needed in every country. Right.
Absolutely. There's no doubt at all.
There are no borders for social workers, right? So
there's just not enough words to celebrate social workers indeed. And so Dr. Tilak Singh, from the perspective of Trinidad and Tobago, what's your message given the theme for this year, co-building hope and harmony, co-building hope and harmony? What do you see that theme to mean, and how can that theme live? I think you're muted. Go ahead now. Go ahead now.
It's a very important theme in that we live in a world where there's so much conflict. We live in a world where the developing countries in the global south face so much poverty. We have social problems like unemployment, discrimination. So I think that it's a time when, the world needs hope, the Caribbean needs hope, Latin America needs hope. And I believe it is something that is certainly needed in Trinidad and Tobago. The problem we have right now is that not many young people want to become social workers.
So how do we fix it from your perspective?
I feel we need to try to sensitize the younger generation, the next generation. We need to try to let them understand that it doesn't have to be everybody want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer. I think a lot of the young people, they are going for jobs where they could get big salaries, and they're not looking at serving the society, serving the population, serving the vulnerable, those who are in need. So I think it needs to start off maybe from the primary school, secondary school, to encourage people to serve others, to volunteer their time and effort.
And so it calls for society to be able to do so, to be able to re-engineer self, to be respectful, Dr. Walters. So let's talk a little bit more about what is the Barbados Association of Professional Social Workers doing so that, as Dr. Tilak said, we encourage more people to step forward to be social workers.
I think we are definitely very engaging with our students at the community college and the university levels. But I also think we have to be mindful that as social workers, you know, we have that training and that background. We don't necessarily have to be called social workers. So I like what we're doing here on island with Mission Barbados, where we're looking at those 6 missions. Social workers play and can continue to play a very important part in the specific spaces, social cohesion and national identity, public health and public safety, worker empowerment and enfranchisement, and digital transformation. When we're looking at developing apps, who to come to but social workers? We study human behavior and human development, and that's important. And I think if we market social worker in those spheres, we'll get more attraction from the younger generation.
So how do we fix a divided society? How can a social worker help to fix a divided society? That's part of the theme.
Yes. It takes, I think what our colleague said, it takes the society to recognize that we have to come together. And so being cohesive, looking at needs assessments, advocacy, policy development, community organization, I think those are the pillars that we will have to use to help fix a divided society, because that's what we need. More inclusion, more acceptance, and that's where it will start.
Dr. Chuang, in Canada, because you're so multicultural and families obviously are then therefore multicultural as well, how do you stitch the fabric together so that we avoid division in society? What positions have been held by the governments of Canada over time to be able to respond to that?
I think that knowledge is power. And I think that when people really understand the importance of working together and how to, deal with this certain situations. In Canada, actually, it's interesting to hear what's going around in the Caribbean, because social workers actually is a very difficult position in Canada. It's highly praised. It's highly sought after. Many of our students at the university level do try to, go into social work, but it's not. It's a very difficult difficult job. But they understand the importance of that role in society and working with children, working with families, and dealing it with together. I think knowledge is power, and understanding, how far that can go and change families, right, for the better, I think is exciting. But also it's when it's recognized by other bodies like insurance, are you able to charge for, consultation with social workers, right? That's now acknowledged in Canada. And so I think that acknowledgement from other sectors of the world, of the communities, and realizing, in Canada, there's a greater importance of working across the table, working with other stakeholders, when it comes to strengthening families. So it's also working outside of those silos and having a better understanding of each other and the strength of and expertise of each other. That actually helps. Like you said, having co-development, right, and facilitating and assisting each other.
Dr. Tilak Singh, you stumbled upon the idea of International Men's Day because you understand the value that the contribution of men to society and the recognition that men also deserve. So the family the society is a reflection of the dysfunction in families in general. Talk to me a little bit about, given the theme, rebuilding and assisting, uniting a divided society. Let's look at it from the nuclear point of view, the family. What do you think we should be encouraging generally as a society or even as a government, because policy comes from government, to be able to respond to the division within family and then by the broader extension, the division within society?
Yeah. I have encountered that problem with promoting Men's Day in that many families are dysfunctional. Sometimes the father might be in jail, he might have died. sometimes they are both parents and they're working 2 and 3 jobs and don't have time for the children. So I've realized that sometimes the single parent home works, sometimes that model doesn't work. So I think what governments need to do, and the social workers and other NGOs need to lobby governments for, is that the governments have to provide more incentives for families. When I mean incentives, not giving them money to have more children, or not saying, what, if you have a large house, or so you'll get more money. But I think what we need to do is we need to ensure that families have more time with their children. That family time is so critical. The governments often do not provide counselors in schools. They often don't have programs where they have mediators or persons coming to do therapy for families that are facing trauma. Maybe somebody might have died in a murder. Some person might have died because of chronic illness, and that family needs psychological help. I think the government need to provide this support system for the families and for students in the schools to heal those divisions within the family structure.
There's so many things as social workers, Dr. Walters, you're called upon to do, to fix, and to be almost like the doctor who attends everything, every condition in society. And I know there's an activity you have coming up on Thursday. Do you have that information you can share with us?
I think we're doing a webinar on human trafficking. One of the other members will be on the panel to discuss that, to talk about human trafficking.
So I don't want to jump ahead of you then. So that we'll talk about at another occasion. But I really want to commend the Barbados Association of Public Professionals, Social Workers, for the phenomenal work you do.
Thank you.
And I know that oftentimes we assume that you'll be there and that you're all right, but sometimes you're not all right. You too need to have those moments to recreate and to just refresh. And I really want to let you know from Mornin Barbados' perspective that we see you, we acknowledge the work you do, and we want to thank you for that work you do. And if that's just enough, we hope that is just enough to remind you to keep going on doing the great work that you do for the society as well. I want to thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Dr. Linda Walters, Dr. Susan Chuang, and Dr. Jerome Tilak Singh, who've joined us this morning as we look back on International Social Workers Day, but we also look forward to the possibility, the hope that lies within us as we try to co-unite, co-building hope and harmony for a not divided family. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. We'll take a break right here. We'll come right back with more in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There's a book that speaks to the adventures of little Zaria. Little Zaria has a story to tell in this book, and so the author of the book, Dr. Vicky Altman, she joins me now. Good morning to you, Dr. Altman.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing well today. Oh, look at you. Look at you looking all Barbadian indeed. How do you do?
Quite well, thank you.
You're very welcome indeed. It means a lot for you to represent Barbados in the ways that you do this morning. What does it mean to you to be a product of Barbados?
Oh, I tell you, it has, after 19 years of research and looking at the similarities and the surnames, I was completely blown away when I had to visit the Embassy of Barbados here in the Washington, D.C. area. And they handed me the phone book, and I was trying to figure out why they handed me the phone book. And when I opened the book, the surnames were the same surnames that are in my family today. So it was like 200 years of history that just bombarded me all of a sudden. And it was like, I found my family. I found my family. So it was just so inspiring. A children's book. My daughter and I, Janice Hemby, came together. I had a new grandbaby. Her name was Zaria. And so just to leave the history behind you, I had to just grab breadcrumbs. But now that, of course, technology, caught up with, like with DNA and finding all of these things, and it led me to Barbados. And I tell you, every year we visit Barbados since then. That was 2023.
That is so beautiful. And so your story that you've told is Welcome to Barbados. It is the adventures of little Zaria, your granddaughter. So talk to me about within the book, there it is, within the book, what do we find on this adventure to Barbados?
So what we find is recognizing and looking at our culture, but I must add, there was a prequel to the Barbados, Welcome to Barbados, and what happened when we finally got there in the first book, and we discovered so many of our relatives, and it brought us straight to the State House to Her Excellency Dom Sandra Mason.
Really?
And she's a cousin. Yeah, she's a cousin as well. So we presented her with the first book, and when she read the book, she stated, "So now that you have arrived, what will be your next task? Now that you're here in Barbados, you must write and tell the world about us."
Yeah.
And so we did. And of course, on one of the pages, this is when we actually met Her Excellency, Dom Sandra Mason. So the culture, the food, the family, our BTMI family, everyone was so warm and welcoming. It just felt like home. As soon as we landed, it felt like home. And I'm looking at the faces, and we looked alike. It's like, I don't know your name, but we just felt the closeness. Our family at St. Michael North, Minister Davidson Ishmael. And I do watch Mornin Barbados. I was watching that. You have to do your research.
Yes.
And, try to get to know everyone. And we ended up adopting 2 schools, which was Eating Lodge Primary and Grissettes, because once, you're home, it's like, okay, how can we be of assistance? How can we help? And in the book, it focuses on our great-great-grandmother, Harriet Skeet. And Harriet Skeet was taken ended up in Charleston, South Carolina. So there's that Charleston connection, that South Carolina connection. And we sort of lost, we didn't know what happened to her until we did our DNA, and I met a cousin, and her name is Michelle Kennedy. And she talked about her grandmother, Harriet. So, whoa, Harriet Skeet. And then, all the names were similar. So, and our DNA matched. So it started with there. It started with the breadcrumbs and looking at the name Harriet Skeet. And Barbados, is it 166 square miles?
That's correct.
And we have discovered that it's like, okay, are we related to 90-some% of the island? Because so many of the names were connecting and the DNA was matching. So it's just been an amazing journey.
Right. So you found home, and now you want Zaria to also to be able to experience home. It's her journey to Barbados as well. But through your telling of the tale, you're also reconnecting for a lot of us some of the fantastic places, the customs, the culture of what we represent. And then you're sharing that with the world through the publication of the book as well.
Exactly.
How old is Zaria, by the way?
Zaria is 6, so she's in school today.
Right.
So maybe on another segment we can have Zaria.
Has she had a chance to read the book yet?
Oh yes, she talks about it in school. So it was presented. My daughter and Zaria are actually in the same school. My daughter teaches there, so Zaria is there in school, and they were excited. And the principal introduced the book, and Zaria will tell you, yes, we have a book, and it's called Welcome to Barbados, and that's where our family is.
And so there you are now. You've created a teaching tool, a talkable moment, all of those kinds of things in a different space that talks about this beautiful island of ours, Barbados. The book, you say, is written for your 6-year-old granddaughter. But for who, what ages is the writing in the book pitched? What kind of ages are you going after here?
So the ages that we were going after, although it's written and you're expressing yourself, she's expressing herself through the minds of a child, but from the age of 6 to adulthood, because you're actually learning about, it talks in the first book, you're talking about the slave trade. And, you're talking about how the grandmother was sold and she ended up, in South Carolina. So the family, the adults can relate based on the historical piece. And then, but it's told through the eyes of a child, and then looking at the captions and, the pages are very colorful.
Yes.
And we had a very excellent illustrator, Lauren Lacey, out of Atlanta, Georgia. So just so, everyone will be able to understand it. You have to write at a level because, we all learn and we read and understand at different levels. But coming through, the mind of a child and through her words, it's just truly been amazing. Everyone is just like, oh my goodness, now we have to visit Barbados. Yes, you do. I know
That's
where your
right. What was it like working with Marsha Aline and Madge Dalrymple from the BTMI in terms of what kind of support did they give to you in getting all of this information?
Oh my goodness. Wonderful question. I love them. Madge is so hands-on. She's family. Madge is family. So she was when we were there this last time for the Food and Rum Festival and for it was St. Michael North. It was Celebration St. Michael North because it was November. Madge said, "Oh, Vicki, you have the book. You have to bring it." I was like, "Oh my goodness, how am I going to get all these books through customs?" So it's just been amazing. BTMI, they have supported us from the very beginning. It's like, whatever you need, setting up our transportation. And then I met Marsha. And what they did this last time, it was so beautiful. They said, okay, the reason why we want you to bring the books, we want you to do your book launch here in Barbados.
Nice.
Yes, so we were actually able to do the book launch with all the family members who attended. We did the book launch in Barbados at the BTMI building.
Well done. So now the book is launched. The book has been launched. Where can we get copies of this book?
So it's on Amazon, Amazon.com. If you type in The Adventures of Little Zaria, you will see both books pop up. You'll see Welcome to Barbados, Our Journey Home. And we added Journey in there because Zaria does have a sister. Her name is Journey.
Oh.
So you don't want to do one book. It's like Journey is 4. It's like, okay, well, you acknowledge Zaria in the book. Where is my name?
Fair enough. Well done. So we can get it online for us on Amazon. You can get a copy. And of course, I want you to get a copy as soon as possible. Experience your journey home. So to all of you who are watching from abroad and you've never been to Barbados, you want to know a whole lot more, see it through the journeys of little Zaria, the adventures of Zaria. And if you have been to Barbados and you're a Barbadian living abroad and you want to relive those moments, experience it through the adventures of little Zaria. It's a book by Dr. Vicki Altman and Janice Hemby, illustrations by Lauren Lacey, who's in Atlanta. But look at that. Look at the picture on the front page. You get the front cover. You will see all of us right there. The energy of this island and the energy that little Zaria would have experienced when she visited Barbados in her journey home. We want to thank you so much, Vicki, for joining us this morning and give you much success for your future endeavors, but for this book as well and the purchase and consumption thereof. Thank you for joining us.
And thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you soon.
Indeed. Thank you very much indeed. That's Vicky Altman. She's Dr. Vicky Altman, the producer and the writer of the book Adventures of Little Zaria. Welcome to Barbados. Get a copy online from Amazon. We're back with more on Morning Barbados in a moment.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, He'll give you the people. Not only will He equip you with ideas, but He will equip you with favor, as He did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Let's look at the news now. Minister of Health and Wellness, Senator Lisa Cummins, has announced plans to establish a transformation committee to review Barbados' healthcare system. During her remarks on the appropriations bill in the upper house yesterday, Senator Cummins said the committee will examine the existing system and patient flow. The health minister says she has already met with stakeholders on the matter.
A transformation committee that looks at the system as it is overall, not the sector, but the system. How do we design patient flow, Senator Connell? How do we have a system that allows for us to be able to identify who should and should not be where, who needs what and from whom, and at what level? How do we integrate with the public sector and with the private sector? How do we then work with the urgent care and the FMHs and the Sandy Crests of the world to be able to deliver services on an as-needed basis?
Also speaking in the upper chamber, Independent Senator Ryan Walters criticized the government's fiscal management, accusing it of overspending and failing to remain accountable to taxpayers. He told the Senate that taxpayers are not being given sufficient accountability for how their money is used. He insisted that the situation must be addressed and called for an end to unchecked expenditure.
Some may take it as a criticism, but it is a concern. And that is why I said that if the government is budgeting resources and we go through a process where it is approved by Parliament, and you go through a process where you bring civil service into Parliament to defend some of that spending, it is only fair for you to come now and report to us on the actual spend, the highlights of those activities that will cause us now to see why you have overspent $1.1 billion over the last 2 financial years. And that is just going back in recent history. I suspect, Mr. President, that one would say that this is something that will be going on forever. But it's something that should not continue. We're living in different times. We are susceptible to everything possible that happens across the globe.
Another independent senator, Jamal Slocum, says there was nothing wrong in government spending $35.7 million on CARIFESTA 15 last year, but he has raised concern about how the information was shared with the public. Senator Slocum argued that government took too long to disclose the full cost and to clearly explain how the funds were used, and is calling for a formal study to assess the impact of the event, saying Barbadians need a clear understanding of the benefits derived from the country's hosting of the event.
I don't want to hear about this went to church, one went to this hotel, and 3 went to... that's not proper report. And sir, they could put the $1,500 that I get in there too. But sir, I want to say, with CARIFESTA having taken such significant funding to put on, as I said, it was a good initiative. Sir, cultural practitioners in this country benefited from Carry Festa. Anyone who says anything different, sir, that is a lie. But we need to have a proper economic impact study, sir.
Well, while speaking on the matter of planned flyovers to help ease traffic congestion, Senator Slocum said while he has no issue with the idea, attention must be given to getting the fundamentals of road infrastructure right.
All the artery roads, sir, have essentially collapsed, bridges. And sir, even up to late last year, we heard about the comments about the inability to access the area easily, even for that of emergency purposes. Sir, so while I support the idea of flyovers, and I support the idea of using flyovers to address the challenges we have with traffic congestion, sir, there's equally a need for us to simply get the basics right.
Workers of the Port Vale Sugar Factory, represented by the Unity Workers Union, will remain on strike until further notice as a dispute over union representation deepens. General Secretary Caswell Franklin made the position clear despite a March 18th correspondence from the Barbados Energy and Sugar Company to a correspondence dated July 26, 2025 and January 16th this year, requesting that UWU be recognized as a bargaining agent for the factory workers. In a letter signed by the General Manager Marlon Monroe, the company stated that BESCO has already recognized a bargaining agent for the relevant categories of workers. It added that collective bargaining negotiations had already begun before Mr. Franklin's correspondence and are now at an advanced stage. BESCO said it's therefore not in a position to engage in a parallel recognition or negotiation with any other union for the same group of employees. But Mr. Franklin says he has rejected the company's position, insisting that the majority of Port Vale workers are members of his union. He says BESCO, established in January 2024, is choosing another union as the bargaining agent for the workers.
They want to have their union represent them and doing what they want. And that is unfortunate. These workers are not slaves. What I will tell you though, however, is that these workers will remain on industrial action, whatever form we decide it will take, until these things are regularized. And also, we are asking them to pay the back pay for the overtime that the workers had in the last two crops, because it's owed to them.
The UWU is also raising concern about working conditions, particularly proposed shift systems. Franklin said workers could be required to work 8-hour shifts, averaging 56 hours a week.
If you're working 8 hours a day, according to this contract, and you are working 56 hours, that means you're working 7 days a week. That used to be called slavery. I don't know what it's called now. But this is one of the conditions that the previous union had agreed to with these workers going back under the old arrangements, and now we're bringing forward to the new. The workers will have none of that.
Well, when CBC contacted the other union represented workers, there was no comment. Family and friends of Kemar Collymore are struggling to come to terms with his sudden death in a road accident on Sunday afternoon. The 35-year-old of Bathland St. John died at the scene after losing control of his vehicle and crashing into a pole along Thicket St. Philip around 3 o'clock. CBC cameraman Anderson Arthur visited Collymore's neighborhood, where residents recalled his positive character and described him as a well-liked individual who was handy at fixing appliances.
He knows to fix the stove. Fix the stove, I think. If you call him, want to see a vehicle, he will come to your rescue. When I hear about this yesterday, I was very sad.
Had me all last night crying all this morning. I didn't even get sleep last night. I did go through. I didn't sleep. And it hurt. All I know it's still hurting.
Kemar was a loving person, that's all I could say. He wasn't a boy that got in trouble or nothing. He was just a respectable person in the neighborhood. I could say, like, he gone quit at a younger age. That's all I can say.
He was a nice person, never give no problems, always smiling and stuff and having fun. And go to work, sometimes I see him, sometimes I don't see him. So when I think he always speak to me, I know him from a little baby. And he was always a nice person. So it's sad that he's passed away.
Lawrence Collymore, the father of the deceased, told CBC News he was very proud of his son, with whom he had deep conversations.
Kimar was very industrious. Kimar started to work from the time he was 15 or 16, and he always wanted to be independent, and therefore he delved into the field of technical work at courts. Then he did some contract work for Massey and Standard. So he is well known in the repair business of washing machines and stoves. And he had a very wonderful clientele who spoke highly of him. It's a tragedy, but God knows best. And I'm not questioning God. I believe out of his death, something good would come. And I want to implore all those who have sons, especially in this day and age, to, continue having conversations with your sons. Kimar was 35 years old, and I remember when he first came back home, one of the things that I told him is that, I love you, Kimar. 35 years old, we tend to stop telling our children how we feel about them, but he knew that I loved him, and, it was just for him to chart that path, to reestablish himself and to be the person that he would have wanted to be.
Police are asking anyone who may have witnessed an accident to contact District C Police Station on 416-8200. To sports now. In sports, CAM Smart Assurance City United Celtics are champions of the 2026 BABA President's Cup. After winning Game 1 in the two-game series against Fusion's Boutique Station Hill Cavaliers by just 5 points, the champions took Game 2 by 26 to take the Derek Garrett Memorial Trophy with an aggregate of 190 to 159. CBC's Damien Best reports on Game 2, which was played at the BCC Gym.
Vital Game 2 for the Cavaliers, wearing the green and black. Win or the title belongs to City United Celtics, who took Game 1. Zachary Cave from mid-range rattles it in. Gavin Phillips looking to stamp his authority as well, slices through the lane and delivers at the cup. Had 10 points, one of 5 players in double figures. But this half belonged to the Celtics. Joel Hunt with 20/20 vision. Theo Greenwich corner pocket. Yes, please. That's 3. The Celtics again dominant with the long ball. 21 threes registered. Darren Hurley with his hands deep in the cookie jar, poured in 21 points. The Celtics exploiting the holes in the Cavs D. Darion Hurley this time, baseline up and in, had a double-double, 16 points, 13 boards. And who could forget this anchor man, Kassarian Adams, triple-double performance. Game high 27 points, 10 rebounds and 10 assists. Celtics cruising at halftime up 51-36. Cavaliers have work to do. Change of direction now, moving the Rockwell Cave open from downtown, count it. But they were being punished for not closing out effectively. Derany, goodness me, 7 of 15 from that distance for the skipper. By the end of the third quarter, the deficit stood at 20 points. Celtics up 78-58. Starting to look like a basketball exhibition game at this point. Scoring coming from all angles now. And the defense was White House style, making the team even more lethal in transition. Here they go. Derany eventually with the step back 3. Eye candy. Celtics on course for victory. Scoreline 85-68 with 5 minutes to go. Stunned would be an understatement. The Cavs were wounded soldiers going through the motions. Celtics establishing their biggest lead, a 29-point margin to shut the shop and put both hands on the Derek Garrett Memorial Trophy. The final score then, Celtics win 102-76 over the Cavaliers, taking the series 2-0. Congratulations to the champions.
And that's our news and sports this morning. More news and sports coming up this evening in the CBC News Night. Morning Barbados takes a break right here. We're coming back with more in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray, microbiome, probiotics, and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
16 and a half minutes now after 7 o'clock. We will meet right now the Queen of the South. Indeed, she has been crowned in more ways than one, but we have a queen already in Jackie Collis. Good morning to you, Jackie.
Why, good morning to you, Pearson, and good morning, Barbados.
Yeah, it's always good to see you and to spend time with you. Jackie is the organizer of the Queen of the South road tennis tournament.
Yes, all-female road tennis
There you
tournament.
go.
Yes.
To be more specific. And you brought along with you the Queen of the South for 2025
Yes.
in Rachel Smith. Rachel, good morning.
Good morning.
Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you very much.
All right, Jackie, let me talk.
All right.
The tournament is all female, and
Yes.
this is now how many years?
The third year.
The
We're
third
in
year.
the third edition of Queen of the South. And again, it's Easter weekend. This time it is April 3rd and 5th. So that would be Good Friday evening and Easter Sunday evening. And this year, we extended the age group to accommodate 16 and over.
Okay.
Normally it would be mainly adults, but if we're talking seriously about the future of the sport, but then we really need to incorporate the youth. So that is what we have done this year to encourage some of the younger players to come on board. And we do have a couple of them who were bold enough to do it, get away from the intimidation. So we're looking forward to that this year for sure.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you remember, but we normally use this tournament as well to build awareness for lupus.
Yes.
We do have some lupus champions that are associated with our club. And this year we're going to focus on Lorraine Ford. Lorraine Ford is an employee of the European Union who has done so much for road tennis on island. And she has worked very, very closely with our club and the union in making things happen. They have always supported what we did, whether it's Last Man Standing, whether it's Queen of the South, whether it's Snatch, which is our at-risk kids program. And that's the reason, one of the reasons, the main reasons why we continue to attempt to do these fundraising events, so then that we can get that program back and running again, so that we can get the kids off the streets, give them something meaningful to do. Keeping them on court is keeping them out of court.
Well said indeed.
Right,
so
right.
this Good Friday coming, which is not this weekend, the following weekend.
Following weekend.
Good Friday and Easter Sunday.
And Easter Sunday.
In the afternoon, we're going where for the Queen of the South tournament?
Okay, Queen of the South, it will be at our home courts, and that is located at Planning and Development Department. Want to say good morning to everyone there at Planning and Development. Thank you guys for your massive cooperation. This year as well, we're going to Dr. Chantel Monroe Knight, who happens to be, and I'm saying it like that deliberately, who happens to be the Minister of Agriculture.
Yes.
Well, she is actually a Queen of the South.
Really?
Because she was actually the only female on the ticket for the Christchurch for the Christchurch area.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So we're playing on that. I'm hoping that Chantel, I know she does the gym stuff, but she has to open. She will be giving the opening remarks and declaring the games open. So, you know, we're looking forward to that as well, that aspect of it as well. As usual, again, it's a round of 16, whereby we have 16 participants. Yeah, and we will have giveaways and prizes throughout the days. There will be food and drinks available for sale as well. We are going to have a lot of fun. We will definitely have lots and lots of fun, and everyone seems to be, you know, rearing up for it. We're encouraging the public to come out and support this event. It is the island's only all-female, you know, and, you know, I would...
Yeah, I'll come to Rachel in a minute, but each of the days you're starting at 4 in the afternoon. 4 in the afternoon on Easter weekend, Good Friday and Easter Sunday, 4 till 11. It's at the Garrison, the Old Town and Country Planning Car Park. It's available. Entrance is $30. Pay at the door?
That was for the registration.
Oh, that's the registration.
So it's a free.
All right,
it was
so
free.
Enough money to play for.
Yeah.
Rachel, you played last year.
I did.
And you won.
I did.
Who did you beat?
I beat Kim Holder.
You beat Kim Holder?
I did.
You beat Kim Holder?
I did.
In other words, you beat her bad?
Two straight.
There you go. And so congratulations to you, first of all. How long have you been playing now road tennis?
About 14 years now.
Wow, and you love it that much?
It's my passion.
It is your passion.
Yes.
I like that. You live in the area as well?
I live in Wildy. I live in this area.
So how did you know about Queen of the South Road Tennis Tournament?
It's a female road tennis tournament, so I signed up. Once I hear about tournaments, I'm there.
You are there.
Yeah.
And so congratulations to you as Queen of the South. And so would you be competing this? Would you be defending your...
Definitely will be competing this year.
But you know, you could get knocked out early.
No, I can't.
Oh, you're going straight to the final?
I will.
That's how it's working, Jackie?
No.
You're very confident. I like you, Rachel. You are confident. You're making it to the final.
Yes.
And so I want to wish you well.
Thank you.
Yes.
And so with your trophy now, talk to me about what this trophy means. Do you have this at home or this is at Jackie's
I
house?
got to keep this for the year. This is a challenge trophy. So I have to return. I returned it. Once the tournament restarted, but if I win it again, I think I gotta keep
back
it.
at your
It's
house.
back at her house.
I gotta keep it.
Yeah. What?
What a conversation. Back at your house. And so here you are now. You are the female road tennis champion of Queen of the South for Barbados, really and truly. And I know last time we spoke, were you giving them other opportunities as well, the winners? I can't remember.
As in...
okay, that's a no.
No.
And so here we are now. Let's remind folks, because you have some great support as well to pull this off.
Yes. One of the things I would also like to make mention of is that we have taken Queen of the South to the next level, whereby we were introduced to the Challenge application. It's a software whereby electronically you can then do your draw, you can do your results, you can have real-time scores, that kind of stuff, and we have brought that on board with us this year. So regardless of where you are, you can go, you might be up in Oysters and want to know what's going on down there, you can go on your cell phone and pull it up and see what is happening in regard to the tournament and its results. So that is one thing. I mean, I believe in going to the next level. That's what we do. And right now, I also would like to make mention, of those people who have made it possible for us to host Queen of the South again for yet another year. RTS, this is the official ball for Queen of the South this year. Again, I present you with this.
Bless you,
and
thank you.
I can tell you what you got to do with that.
that.
So let me give you the listing of our sponsors. We have Safety Hospitality Supplies. They've been on board from inception. We have iFocus Inc., Simplex Trading Company Limited, Jose and Jose Limited, Golden Sands Hotel, Pirates Inn Hotel, Hallam Nichols, good morning to you. Thank you so much. Exquisite Rentals Incorporated. They're one as well who have been always with us from the inception. The European Union, They have done tremendous work with us when it comes to making sure that we too get to the next level and the development of the road tennis within the communities and the youth. And of course, Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation, you guys are on board with us again this year, and we thank you so very much because it gets our, to get our message out, then it makes people aware, and therefore we're hoping that all of you listening to us this morning, that you come out and you support Queen of the South. Special thanks to the Garrison Historic Planning Committee, Planning and Development Department, the Hastings and Worthing Police Station. We have a beautiful relationship with them. Inspector Grant and her team, they have been working with us very closely to make sure that we have everything in place. And AR Rackets. We have a new person on board as well, and that is Do It Best.
Oh, nice.
Do It Best came on board with us this year. So to all of our sponsors, to all of the contributors, all our volunteers, thank you so very much. It's very important in this day and age when it comes to, as an event planner, you definitely need that support.
All right, Jackie, I thank you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For the folks who are competing, the young ladies who are competing in this as well.
Yes, to the competitors, all our competitors, all 16 ladies, good morning, Queens. We know you are excited, and we're going to have a blast.
Work all your fitness because Rachel is going to make it to the final yet again. That's what she said. But thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Rachel, as well. Congratulations in advance.
Thank you.
You say. And so it'll be great to hear the outcome of this. Tennis is going to play, folks. Road tennis galore. It's our indigenous sports, but you need to turn up at the Garrison to the old car park of the Town and Country Planning Department. It starts at 4 o'clock on Good Friday, 4 o'clock on Easter Sunday till 11 o'clock. And there you go. Peter catches the ball. So we're going to have a good time. It's free. It's free to everyone. We're going to spend the day. Food and drinks on sale. Thanks again, everybody. We're coming back right after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One. Your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The
One. Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely, and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary...
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Yesterday, we met some of the young ladies in the 13 to 14 category who are representing Barbados at the upcoming Carifta Swim Meet. And today, we're meeting 4 of the young men who are representing Barbados in that same meet as well. Joining me from the Foundation School is Aiden Salmon. Good morning, Aiden. Good to see you. Congratulations, first of all, for making the team.
Thank you.
Well done. Theodore Narain is with him. Narain is with him. He's from Queen's College and the also QC as well. Amir Gittins and Mihail Sobers. Gentlemen, congratulations first of all. You've made the team. And I know sometimes it's not easy to make the team, but this is not new to you, Aiden. You've competed before.
Yes, please.
Are you looking forward to this year's competition?
Yes, please.
What about it are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to compete with the new competition and hopefully to medal.
I like the fact your voice breaking. I like it bad. That's a passage of right, young man, that you're having at the moment where your voice changes in that moment. And so here you are, you're 14 years old.
Yes, please.
This is your last time in this category.
Yes, please.
And so what are you setting yourself as your goals to achieve now that your last time in the 13 to 14 category?
My goals would be to make finals again to hopefully medal and to represent Barbados well.
And how did you do last time?
Good World Championships. The last time we would have done well.
Well done, well done. So to make Barbados proud and yourself as well.
Yes,
great.
please.
Theodore, what about you? This is your first time in this category. You're 13. And so here it is now, you're representing Barbados in this. Have you represented Barbados before in swimming?
Yes, please.
At the Goodwill Games as well?
Carifta last year.
Carifta last year in the younger category.
Yes, please.
So now you have a different kind of competition this time around. Are you looking forward to that level of competition?
Yes.
How are you getting ready for it?
It's going to be a little challenging since I'm with people older than me, but I think I'll be able to manage.
You can handle this. Age is just a number. It's just a number. And all you have to do is to do you. And so your game plan is now on, right? What is the game plan that you have in preparing for Carifta?
Just to go to as many training sessions as I can inside and outside of the pool and to stay hydrated and healthy before Carifta.
And what are you aiming to do this time around? What do you set as yourself as your benchmark to achieve?
Hopefully make a final and to drop all my times.
And you're working on that.
Yes.
What events are you swimming in?
I'm doing the 50, 100 and 200 back and the 50 and 100 breast.
Not bad. Well done. Amir, what about you? How are you preparing for the games?
Staying hydrated, getting my sleep in, going to my gym, I'm putting in the work in the pool also.
Yeah, you look really fit indeed, and so that's what you're doing. Do you get time to have fun outside of all the preparation, or you're so focused on Carifta that nothing else, you don't have time for anything else?
Oh yeah, there's a balance that comes with it. On weekends, I may hang out with my friends, I may play games, because for me it's just finding balance and keeping motivated.
And you can do that?
Yes, please.
And so here you are, were you in the younger category last year and now you moved into the 13 to 14?
Yes, please.
And so this is your first time, like Theodore, are you also thinking of the other people who are older than yourself you're swimming against?
I'm not really, I only see myself looking for some huge PBs, but no pressure, and yeah.
No pressure, but you have some personal bests.
Yes.
And you believe that your personal bests are good enough to make you medal?
I would like to say so, but again, no pressure.
No pressure on you. Mihail, you are a little bit older than the other boys here now. Yeah. You are in the same 13-40, but you're at the 14 end of the bracket here. Yeah. This is not your first time swimming either. No. So talk to me a little bit about preparation for this Carifta meet.
Well, I have to get myself physically prepared. So I have gym and swimming, so going swimming every day. And then mentally prepared, so getting myself in the right mindset, so yeah.
Is there a swimmer who you admire most? You say, I like that style for these particular events. I would like to pattern myself after. Have you had those kinds of thoughts?
No, I don't idolize anyone.
You just focus on you and do what you do. What are your coaches telling you in terms of your readiness for Carifta?
He has me, also my gym coach, getting himself mentally prepared, so yeah.
Would you take swimming professionally, or this is just a moment in time for you?
Just have fun.
Just?
To have fun.
Just to have fun?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't want to take it seriously?
No, not really.
What about you, Aiden? Would you like to take up swimming seriously?
Yes,
You say
please.
yeah, why?
Because to me, the college swimming is really fun, and I really love to go to the Olympics one day.
You really want to represent Barbados at the Olympic
Yes,
one
please.
day. And so you're doing everything possible to be able to do so.
Yes,
so Carifta helps you to sharpen your competitive skills.
Yes, please.
And so when you heard that you had made the team, when you recognized, oh, my times are good enough to make the Carifta team, talk to me about that moment and how it felt.
Yes, I was really happy because I've been training really hard to make it. And now that I'm on the team, I'm going to put in all the work and hopefully I can do well.
When is the competition?
Carifta, April 4th to the 10th.
Next weekend?
Yes, please.
Scary?
A little bit, but I can handle it.
You can handle it. Theodore, what about you? The moment you found out you had your times were good enough to make the Carifta team?
I was happy because it means that I wouldn't have to qualify again next year because I'd qualified in my first year, and so I was pretty happy and proud of myself.
And with Carifta next weekend, scary?
I'm a little nervous, yeah, but I just want to do the best that I can.
You can handle this.
Yes.
You can. Aiden?
When I found out I made it for the team, I was obviously excited. I wasn't planning to make the team because my times earlier this year were not the best, but I made the team. And on the meet, I really get into my zone, so the nerves don't really bother me. I just try to do my best.
You said your times were not the best. So between then and now, have you seen any adjustments in your timing?
Yeah, I would like to say so. Training's been hard, obviously. Been a little bit tired, but pushing through.
Would you take seriously swimming as a profession?
I mean, I would like to, but we'll see. We'll see.
No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure indeed. The moment you found out, Mihail, that you had made the cut, you made the team, what was that like?
It was expected, so this is my first career, so going there, do my best again and represent Barbados good.
What is it like really psyching oneself up at Carifta for a swim? What do you have to do? Do you chant? Do you listen to music? What do you do?
Before my races, I like to say I could do this, get myself in the right mindset, and once I get my mindset, I do really good.
Do you pay attention to who else is racing with you?
Sometimes, but sometimes I only want to focus on myself and on the race I'm about to swim. So once I do that, I'm good.
How do you know your place at the end of a race?
My place?
How you've done, whether you're first, second, third, fifth, last, I don't know. How do you know?
Once I do my best, I'm really good. So
yeah,
I'm proud of myself.
You just do it. You just do it. And hope that your name is called by the commentator as the winner. Because you just don't know until the race is done, especially if the race is close, right?
Right.
That somebody announces who is the winner. All right. Have you had those kinds of encounters, close races, close finishes?
I love those races.
Why?
Because it's fun.
What about it is so fun?
Once having a lot of competition and everybody screaming and having everybody screaming your name, and that was
you like the noise.
Yeah.
You want to hear the noise.
I love the pressure too.
And you like pressure as well.
Yeah.
You are built not to break. Well done indeed. And so Aiden, here it is, you're heading off. What do you want to say to Barbados in terms of getting their support? You can look over there to the camera and tell Barbados to support you and the team.
First of all, we really appreciate the support we have so far. The team this year is really strong and the support really helps us, and we will appreciate all the support we can get.
Theodore, you get a chance too.
I just want to say that I hope a lot of people watch and support us along the way, and
well done. Aiden, your turn to talk to Barbados, to tell Barbados to give you all the support you can get.
We appreciate the support. Our fundraiser has been really successful. Thank you for the support, and we'll try our best to do our best.
That's a guarantee, no pressure. I like that comment. Mihail, what about you? You look to the camera as well. You tell Barbados to give your support.
Once again, we appreciate your support, and we're going to do our best over there, and we just need your support, so thank you.
I like it indeed. Gentlemen, you'll do well. I know are you the only ones in the 13 to 14, or are there some others as well?
Only boys.
You're the only boys in the 13 to 14?
Yeah. Yes,
well, there you go. Whether you're already winners, thank you so much for joining me this morning. Aiden, Theodore, Amir, and Mihail, young boys representing Barbados in the 13 to 14 category in the upcoming Carifta Swim meet next weekend. We will be following them, but you know what? We are going to give them all the prayers, all the blessings as they head out to represent us. And whatever the outcome, we are immensely proud of them making it to the Carifta finals. And so Eugenia Ida is saying she loves the confidence of you young boys. She loves it. She's wishing you all the best of success at the Carifta Swim. So our commentators, Gab Patricia is saying, wish you all the best in every event. We are very proud of you young men as well. So Barbadians are behind you already. All over the world, Barbadians are behind you. So well done. We're pleased with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right? You're welcome. We're taking a break here, folks. We're coming back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end. And what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted,
if I said to you, Nathan Goddard McCarthy, would you know who I'm talking about? Really, seriously, would you know who I'm talking about? No? All right, if I said to you, Nate Sports, do you know who I'm talking about? You do now, right? Well done indeed. So the man behind Nate Sports is with us this morning, and we really want to sit and get to know him better because he is now given an opportunity that many in his field yearn after. And so, Nathan, Nate Sports, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson, and good morning to the rest of Barbados.
Listen, tell me about Nate Sports.
Well, it's Nate Sports Thought.
Then.
Nate Sports Thought is basically a sports platform that I founded in 2024 to give Barbadian athletes more spotlight, since I was an athlete myself, a cricketer, and also a former track and field athlete at Commermere, and for the elite distance program, also Talents Track and Field Club as well.
And so you felt so passionate about the sports you enjoy that you wanted to provide a platform to showcase all of those sports, the breadth of those sports. Are you surprised by the response you're seeing to it?
Honestly, at first it was supposed to just start out as something I was passionate about, like a hobby, for example. And it just blew up to almost like an expectation that I will post news every day, every minute, and just always be active.
So as the young man from Queen's College just said, no pressure. But there's pressure because of the expectation of you, of people, really, that that's the place to go to see the latest this or that. And so, is it a one-man thing, or do you have a team of people working with you?
Majority, I would say it's a one-man thing. Really, like I have learned so much in like videography, photography. I do graphic design a little bit. I wouldn't really call myself a graphic designer though, but I'm able to function on many different platforms. But also, my girlfriend helps me a lot. She's a visual artist, Lanisha Ince. She helps me with what to post and
how to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Or if it will look good, if the colors look well. Yeah.
Journalism is also what you do. And was that foray into journalism simply because of the passion you have for sport? Or were you also always interested in writing stories and telling people stories through journalism?
So I would say I'm very passionate about sports. I'm a very curious person. And at UB I did sports science, so I have a bachelor's in sports science, so I just love sports. But at first I actually wasn't even studying journalism. I was studying more like psychology, and actually I wanted to get into like data analytics, so that's really all my research-based background I was coming from, 'cause I was interested in that. But then after I just decided I wanted to talk about sports, because I follow a lot of the different sports entertainers online, or even the same journalists, and I just said I probably could do this for Barbados, because a lot of our athletes go unnoticed. Because I was one of the athletes before who used to wake up early on the morning, 5 to go and train at the National Stadium for like my whole, almost half my school life. So yeah, I understand how they feel.
Wow. So telling the story is important to you. To tell the story, to how to get to the finish line, is important enough to you to get into journalism. Having decided to foray yourself into journalism then, did you do it formally in terms of journalism school and blah, blah, blah?
Actually, I didn't. I took a non-traditional route. Really, I just went online, learned a few things, watched a few videos. I would even watch presenters like you and just pick up little cues here and there to get further experience, basically, yeah.
And now the rest is history. Because here it is, Nate's Sports Talk is on the air, on platforms, and so people from all over the world are watching to see what it is that Nate is putting out. And so you've done that sufficiently well that you've been given what I call the opportunity of a lifetime. There are many journalists who have not yet been called up by the International Olympic Association Committee to be able to be a part of the training for upcoming games. Talk to me about how that opportunity came about.
So last year, I would have been sent this by Amar Goodrich Boyce, the IOC young reporter, because he was one before back in 2018. And before Amar, there was Alan Harris. So there are only 3 Belgians, no sense I'm the third. And it's basically a program that the International Olympic Committee hold to train young reporters. The ages have switched this time around, ages 21 to 25. And I'm one of the 15 that have been selected out of over, I think, like 271 applicants to basically get hands-on experience in journalism and to learn about broadcasting, social media before the world is changing, and print journalism, basically, yeah.
And Mark could have sent it to you, and you said, oh, well, thanks for the information. I'm not interested, or maybe not this time around. What was it that made you think that for just a second, let me just take this seriously to fill in what needed to be filled in?
Honestly, because of the portfolio that I was starting to build, so it would have started with the Barbados Amateur Gymnastics Association. They would have reached out to me when they had like 300 followers and asked me to come and cover curricula for them, and it was like, this is big. Like I didn't expect to be doing something like that, and they gave me the opportunity. I know it's 2 years I've been working with them, and it's just being fun around the gymnasts and helping to grow that sport. Also moving to cricket as well with the Barbados Royals, helping the Royals. The BFA as well have given me opportunities to take photos of the Nations League, World Cup qualifiers. So all over Barbados, people have been recognizing and giving me chances. So I think that I had the ability to go and do it.
So of the 200 and whatever people who had made application to be selected, you were one of 15. And one of 15 from the region, or one of 15 from Barbados?
One of 15 from the world.
From the world?
Yeah, all over the world. So some of the others with me are from Africa, they're from Oceania, Europe. Yeah, one of 15.
So this is no small thing.
And the only person from the Caribbean as well.
This is no small thing, Nate. So when you got the news that you were one of the 15, talk to me about your reaction. How did you feel when you got that news?
So like when they sent in the application, because of the work I've done, I was like, I know I have to be one. Like, but even when they got it, it was still shocked, because I cannot believe 2 years ago when they started this that we're raised to this level. Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Basically, surreal, yeah.
You had to picture yourself for just a moment and think, is this really for me? Or did they make a mistake? But it was for you. And so when did you get that news?
I got that news about, I think, the beginning of March, like early March, yeah.
Early this month you got the news. When and where does the training happen?
It's going to be in Dakar, Senegal. Yeah, later this year, October 28th to November 14th.
So talk to me for a minute. This is not now, this is in St. Lucia. it's in Dakar in the Middle East. Talk to me about what next went through your head in terms of what you needed to do to prepare yourself for Dakar. Because we begin to plan. Once news comes, we have to travel, we begin to plan. So what's the plan you start putting in place?
So just to, I guess, learn a little bit more about journalism, to like refine how we speak in terms of interviews, then practicing my writing more before I go across. And I think I'll try to learn a little bit more French as well so that I can acclimatize across here with the locals or whatever, yeah.
But didn't you want to see what the place looked like? Have they shared with you exactly where you'll be staying or those kinds of details yet?
They haven't shared all of those details as yet, but it'll be across, I think, 3 areas in Senegal. 3 zones, basically, yeah.
Wow. And in terms of the flight? Yeah, talk to me.
I didn't get any of those details yet. They're supposed to come later.
But you started checking.
Yes, I did.
How does I know the human nature, you know. I know you guys. And so when you say, okay, I'm in Barbados, to get all the way over there, how do I get there? And what did you discover?
I think you have to go through London first, and then I think from London you will obviously go on to Senegal. That's what I'm assuming. Hopefully it's not longer than that.
And then you started counting the number of hours.
Exactly.
I thought to yourself, can I survive for so long in the sky? And you can.
Yeah.
And so the excitement is beginning to build as you begin to do more preparation in preparation for the training that you'll get. Have they broken down what the training would look like yet for you, or you don't yet have that detail?
Yes, basically it would be like you training alongside international media that have worked for obviously big organizations in the past. So it'll be classroom sessions and also getting to work alongside them in the field in the different multi-sports that they will have at the games, yeah.
What's your favorite sport? Hard to say.
I would say track and field.
Why?
Because I feel like I started cricket when I was younger and I stopped at a younger age, but then I did track and field up until about 21, 20. And being there at training and seeing the people that I used to be around, where they are now, some are Olympians, some are running well at the college level, it's always been something that's close to my heart, because I know what athletes go through, how they train, how easy it is to be injured or to just miss out, and I think that's what really helped me.
A lot of people oftentimes, as they're planning their career, look at the value, the money that they get out of it. Did you at any point in time in your decision making think of how much money can I make, or were you just passionate about the sport enough that it didn't matter how much money you made?
I was just really passionate about it, honestly. Yeah.
You're an amazing man. I want to know more about you. I'll do that. Can we take the break? I'll take a break right here. When we come back, we get a little bit deeper into who Nathan is and who is Nate Sports Talk right after this.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m.
We're sitting with Nate's Sports Talk, and I'll say like that for a reason because I want you to connect immediately. But his given name by his mommy and daddy is Nathan Goddard McCarthy. He's a journalist, and he's been given the chance to fly off to Dakar. He's going to be there as part of a training exercise, and so I'm excited to have him because he has made such a tremendous difference already to how we receive our sports content, how we engage with sports around the world and locally as well. And so, Nathan, you know, let's talk a little bit about you. You said you're passionate. You wished you had to spend a little more time. Your favorite sport is track and field. But what do you think of track and field in Barbados to start with?
I think track and field this year, especially, we've just been seeing like amazing performances. I think for a very long while we've had like great coaches. If you look through all the clubs, experienced coaches, and then I think in the last 2 years we had a junior training program where you just bring together like all the coaches to share ideas and also the talented athletes that could develop into great senior athletes. And I think it has been reaping fruits because you can see now with our curricular team, the largest ever, I think like 60 athletes. So I think track is in a good space right now with some of the talent coming through, and people are even online like looking forward to track. No, because remember in COVID, like when you had the pause, like performances kind of dropped, and then we didn't have a track that we could use because there was a lot of grass and stuff. But I think now we're really like going on an upward trajectory.
Have you seen the young man from the St. Lawrence boys who ran the 400?
Yes, Jalino Hamlet, yeah.
Taught to be. What are your thoughts about him and his performance?
I think he's a generational athlete. Like you could compare him to like a Willan Louis. Like, being 13 and running those times is incredible. Even like some people from overseas are already starting to recognize it, and it's been, I think like this famous TikToker from US was talking about it, and it's just amazing.
The use of social media in sports, how important, how relevant it is, as a journalist, would you rather not have the competition with social media when it comes to relaying the facts?
I don't really think it's a much so competition. I think more important for me is just to get the news out there so people can get factual and truthful information and to hand quickly. It's not really competition to me.
Do you think Barbadians are sufficiently supportive of sports in general in Barbados at all?
Yes, I think we love sports. Yes, we are education focused. Everyone wants us to go to school, do well, and to bring back great grades and get a good job. But I think Barbadians really love sports, and I've been seeing it over the last few years. Everywhere I go at football, if somebody miss a goal, how passionate, jumping up, oh, you could do that, yeah. But
I feel this flow as well.
Exactly, and your track and field, how the parents are just in the stands cheering their children on. Some of them might even want to run down the finish line with them, but I think we're very passionate about sports, and I think it's starting to grow a little more with social media as well, connecting all of us. Yeah.
If you could give a recommendation to the planners that be about how you see sports ought to be developed and the opportunities that should be given to sports, what would you say?
I guess I would say promoting it more online, like getting to know some of the athletes more. For instance, if you're say doing cricket, even track and field, just getting to know like the behind the scenes of what the athletes do. So going to their training sessions, maybe going to where they grew up, talking to their parents, just getting a collective, a whole understanding of who they are, what they are, to then keep on building that story. And as it keeps on going on, people will become more like attracted to it.
And that's important to you. Say it again. Who are some of the noises in my ears? You've got to forgive me for just a moment. Voice in my head. You know, who are some of the famous people, sports people who you've met?
So this was last year. I think last year I would have met Keylor Navas. He played for Real Madrid when they won the Champions League about 3 times.
They like to laugh at me. So on the screen, that was that moment?
Yeah, that was that moment, Keylor. Right
how did that feel? To know you were standing next to somebody who you thought was, wow, global.
It was just, honestly, I didn't even believe it at first when Costa Rica were coming here to play, because they didn't play Barbados. It was a match against, I think, it was Bahamas. And they just came. I think Barbados stepped in to host it, and I was like, Keylor actually coming? Like, he's actually going to be here. And I just went up to him, asked him after the match to be professional, you know, and he was just cool, quite humble, really, yeah.
So you got to meet somebody who you admire?
I wouldn't say admire, but that I knew, yeah.
All right, fair enough. Nathan, there you are, meeting some other outstanding. Who's this?
Clarence Seedorf. He won the Champions League with Real Madrid and AC Milan.
You like football?
Top footballer, yeah.
You like football?
Love football as well, yeah. Big Manchester United fan.
You like football, there's no doubt about it. But we are so proud of you. We are very pleased. You work at Barbados today. You're a journalist there, freelance still, but journalist nonetheless. You run your platform, Nate Sports Talk, and you're seeing phenomenal responses to what you're doing. You feed us information as well because we watch it too. And so we are grateful and so proud of you that you've been selected one of 15 people from around the world, young journalists who are given an opportunity of a lifetime. I hope you make great use of the time and that you come back and lend from that experience everything that you've absorbed so that our reporting can be better at what we do as well. So thank you for joining us this morning.
I want to thank you, Pearson, and everyone across Barbados who has remained supporting me. I want to especially thank my mother, Tracy Goddard, my grandfather, Eric Goddard, my grandmother, Jennifer Goddard, my girlfriend, Lanisha Ince, my mentors, Tahir Bubulia and Terry Finisterre from the St. Lucian Times for helping me so much. Thank you.
I like that. I like that. A young man who takes the time to say thanks is a properly raised young man. Well done, Nathan. Thank you so much indeed. And so we've come to the end of it today, folks. My little crew joins me saying to all of you, have a terrific Tuesday. Be the will of the Lord. We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up.